Hey guys, well, maybe it turns out that I might actually kind of know what I'm doing. If you watch this morning's match, you will have noticed that we actually played pretty well. We won and we beat a team that is a lot better than us. I mean, we go look over here at the competition. So that was against, where are they? Eber's fleet. I mean, they weren't a lot better than us, but at the time going into the match, we were 21st. They were further up, like 12th or 13th here in the league. We've moved up to 18th position. Our march forward is going to be pretty slow. I'm starting to think that we had some problems because we were playing a bunch of these teams up at the top at first instead of playing a bunch of these poor teams at the bottom. I mean, Cray, Rush Hall, we did beat Leamington, but Tautan, Curzon Ashton, we have played Warrington, and we did play Hampton and Richmond as well. Boy, they've fallen a long way. But, there's a bunch of teams down here that we just haven't played yet. And that's kind of the thing, which makes me wonder. I wonder if, a little bit more luck and maybe a couple goals here or there, if we can't sort of, start springboarding some of these teams and make it up a little bit higher. What I wanted to talk about here today, though, is not this, it's this. Go take a look at this tactic and see what's working. So unfortunately, Amir Badhawi has been injured, which means that we're going to have to look probably down here and see if we can come up with somebody else. Probably going to be Jack O'Neill, I'm guessing, who's going to wind up going up to the senior squad for a little while to get in his reps. The thing that works about this, Noah, is not just the fact that these players are developing, these partnerships. This will develop. It'll get a little bit better as time goes on. I think the thing that is the key to this tactic more than anything else is this part right here, this defensive line stuff, right? So we saw a lot of that here in the most recent match, which is that instead of having just sort of like a normal defensive line or playing something back, which I've done in the past, we decided to move everybody way up. We want to have everybody play up as far as we can. And as a result, when you're watching these matches, they take a lot of time, in part because there's so many offside calls. It's because every single time the AI tries to attack, they're being caught offside. It's because our defensive line is up high. I noticed that we had a call there in that last match of offside that was right up here near the mid-line. And the reason why is because that's how far up we're playing. It does mean that we're putting a lot of pressure on the keeper, and Danielowitz has had his share of adventures in the recent past. But it works, and it works quite well if you also have this sort of high press, right? Now, the idea is you kind of want to make sure that you have if you're having a high press, that you try to keep it as close as you possibly can. You don't necessarily want to have like a high press and then a defensive line that goes way down here. The reason why is because your midfield won't match up, especially if you're playing with like the sort of structure that we have, right? So we don't have a striker up here to be the real high line of engagement and then a whole bunch of guys in like an X or a crisscross pattern or whatever. Instead, what we have here is we only have really these two guys in the middle. These guys are kind of almost, they're supposed to be almost like extra defenders. They've been doing, I think, a little bit more attacking than I've been used to with other teams. But we're trying to get this line between the press, or the line of engagement, and the defensive line. We're trying to get it as like narrow and compact as we can, so that we can find each other and we can continue to have a lot of good passes. That's kind of what's been working here, right? So it's a combination of the two things. It's sort of the high defensive line. We'll give up goals every once in a while, but we haven't given up that many. Although I will show you here, the press has been sort of complaining. Hallam have one of the leakiest defenses in the National League East, conceding 21 goals in just 11 matches. Yeah, we knew coming into the season that was going to happen. I mean, we don't have a great team. We don't have any money. And it may be the case that the takeover, the consortium takeover, or whatever, might not end up happening anyway. Though it might happen now that we've won. I mean, who knows? Who knows how it works? But I will say that, it doesn't really matter if we give up goals in the back, because as long as we're scoring them and we score as many or more than the opposition, we'll be fine, right? I mean, the old ratio, this if you watch around guys on YouTube, the so-called Kev ratio is where you look at the number of matches played and you look at your number of points. You want points to be over matches played, and that's what we have right now. That's kind of the secret. That means you're not going to be down in relegation territory. Now, there's no place to go. There's no place to be relegated here. But that's kind of what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're, not hanging out here with Sheffield. We would love to be up here maybe around 12th or 13th if we possibly could. And, that does mean, we'll have maybe a loss here, a loss there, but we might win a couple of games here and there as well. And that's kind of what we want to do. Get some draws. We get some wins. We've had 2 wins away from home against teams that are theoretically better. We've had 2 draws away from home, right? At some point in time, we're going to get the cohesion together and it's going to work. And, occasionally giving up goals because we have that high line in the back isn't really going to matter that much, right? And so that's sort of the idea that you have. That's a big part of the way that the tactic works. We want to make sure that we push forward as much as we can, and that we keep these opposing teams being offside. And it's great when they're called for offside up around here instead of back here, because that gives you a lot of forward momentum. Anyway, there you have it. I'll talk with you guys again tomorrow. Bye.